Hello everyone, welcome to this week's edition of Christy's Corner. Nice to see you. I'm not in my house, so my background is a little bit different, but that's okay. I really wanted to start filming and putting out more content since I've been back from Disney before my ideas go away. And the theme of this video is to share with you some things that I realized. So the first thing is extra magic hours. Disney puts a schedule of extra magic hours in select parks during the week each day that you kind of want to look out for when you're booking your trip. And the rule of thumb is that guests that are staying on property get to experience 1 extra hour before the park opens or 2 hours after the park officially closes. So in my recent trip that I went to, I had extra magic hours in virtually every park each day of my stay. The only thing I can say that it wasn't helpful for was Epcot, because after Epcot closes at 9 p.m., especially during food and wine, all the food and wine kiosks close at that time after illuminations. So basically, World Showcase is a ghost town after closing. There's hardly anything open, and the only thing that's useful to take advantage of the extra magic hours is Future World. So like if you didn't get to go on Test Track or in or any of those things like that, you could, I guess, take advantage of the magic hours at night, but I really don't think that it's worth it, especially at that time. So I ended up trading in my Typhoon Lagoon ticket for an extra park day, which took me to 5 days in the parks instead of a 4-day ticket. And I ended up paying a lot more actually for doing that. But I did it because I really wanted to experience food and wine before they closed it, and I'm kind of glad that I did that. That being said, another perk is when you become an annual pass holder and you don't have any blackout dates, and you kind of want to plan your trip even that way, because even if you're not going to go, even if you're a Florida resident, you're not going to go like once a month or 3 or 4 times a year, you can still plan a trip on an annual basis as long as it's like 355 days, give or take, how long your trip is going to be before the annual pass runs out. The cool thing about an annual pass is that you can kind of break up your stay. You can still do fast passes, I'm sure, of doing 1 park per day. You can actually, like hit up Epcot in the morning if you want to, Future World, and then go to Hollywood Studios in the evening, or, whatever the case is. So you're essentially paying less to visit Disney World a lot more and experience a lot more of it. So that's something that I'm glad that I did. That's a plus. That's not a mistake. Another thing too is you want to make sure that you take breaks. Whenever you feel that your feet are going to fall off, it's really hot and you're tired and you're just like, waiting in lines, you want to make sure that you can stop when you're in the park after, I don't know, the 4th or the 5th ride, and find some shade, buy something to drink. I know people are like, no, don't buy anything to drink in Walt Disney World. You're wasting your money. Trust me, that money would be going to something else, and you have to stay hydrated. So now the restaurants are getting a little bit hung up on the free water thing, like free cups of water. So now I've seen them tell people, no, we're out of water or we don't have it. They are in the business to make money. So what do? You grab a Powerade or whatever the case is. I recommend Powerade because you're walking and you're losing sweat and electrolytes, and you definitely need vitamins and electrolytes to keep going. So for $4, spend it, instead of getting something that's not nutritious for you. Find some shade, find a bench, drink your water, slow it down. Then you can rest your feet and then get back at exploring the world. Also, when it gets really hot, between the noon and the 4 o'clock time, you want to kind of curb it to going back to the hotel, taking a nap, taking the kids to the pool, whatever like that, because during peak times during the day, it does get hot. It does get more crowded. The rides seem to have longer lines. And to avoid all of that disgruntledness, just take yourself out of it and come back, or schedule a little bit of downtime is what I find that's a lot more easy to do. Another thing is you want to bring more than one pair of shoes, and I cannot stress this enough. I brought both tennis shoes and walking sandals, and I'm glad that I did, and I was able to switch them out every other day, because you will get blisters from just wearing one. And it's always good to do that, because that way your feet can recover a lot faster from all the walking and the miles that you put on there. Another thing that you want to do as well is to eat a good breakfast. I can't stress that enough. Whether you have reservations at a buffet, either in a park or in a resort, or just at your hotel, you're eating a nice breakfast with protein, because that will keep you going much longer in the parks. So if you're not the kind of person that wants to stop for snacks all the time like me, I really didn't want to stop to eat snacks and stuff like that, because I made sure that I was full from my breakfast, and I didn't eat until like 12 hours later, which was good. Another thing you want to do as well is make a tentative schedule. So in your schedule, maybe like 3 attractions that you definitely want to hit that day, or different things like that, and you plan around those. But the rest of it, you just kind of wing it and see where you end up, even with fast passes, because I'll tell you what, if you get there early enough, like at Rope Drop, you can pretty much make that stuff happen. When the lines are small, and you basically don't even need to use the fast pass that you would have had for later if you don't choose to. So there's really a lot that you can accomplish by arriving early and keeping your schedule open also for inclement weather. First day that I arrived in Animal Kingdom, the first day of my trip, and it started raining intermittently, and they would shut down the rides. I think I got to Dino Land, I think it was, and they shut down the Triceratops spin just as I got on it, and I was waiting and waiting for it to start, and it never did. And they're like, sorry, we have to shut down the ride because of lightning in the area. And I said, I completely understand, safety first. So what did we do? We went to rides that basically were still open. I went and got my picture with Chip and Dale, with Donald Duck, and things like that. I went on Everest, pretty much walked on it the second time, because it had started to rain and people didn't know what to do. So the lines were not as long. And then when it finally did start pouring, like beyond the point of control where I was soaked, I decided to call it a day and go back to the resort. At that time, my room was ready. So that's a cool thing to do, is just kind of plan your day around the weather. If you can get shelter in a pavilion or in a restaurant or in a closed ride and wait it out, then do so. But if you can't, just make other arrangements and don't be upset about it. And this is a really cool thing about having an annual pass now, is that I can go back to a park that I really wanted to see, let's say Animal Kingdom. If I have 5 days, I can go to Animal Kingdom in the morning and go to another park in the evening. So that's just a plus of everything. So yeah, and another thing I want to say is that if there are particularly cool things that you want to buy, like character specific, like pins and whatever, I encourage you to buy them when you see them, not wait, because different resort gift shops and gift shops in the parks vary. So they may be able to order them, but you may not see them in the same place. For example, Chip and Dale pins, the ones that I bought them from two different gift shops because the gift shop at my resort where I was staying only had two pins that had Chip and Dale. And then the ones that were really cool that I saw online were available at the Contemporary gift shop. So, things like that. And if you're going to a specific ticketed event like Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party or Very Merry Christmas, and you want select merchandise from there, I encourage you to buy it there. When you see it, have it sent to your resort if you can, if they'll allow you to do that at the gift shop, and continue, your day. But things like that, you can't wait until the next day to get it because it's specifically there for the party. So, yeah.